Session. Hey, Matthew. Good.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. You're right. It's an afternoon for me too. Just where are you calling in from?
Currently right now Cape Cod, but I'm based in Boston.
Beautiful. On
Yeah.
vacation or my business?
Yes. No, on vacation. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good stuff. Hey, Christina. Anita.
Hello. Sorry about that. I was on mute.
No worries. Alison, Sally. Nice to meet you all. We will get started right now. I think it's probably good. So, welcome to the, LPCC is the acronym for this program, Leadership Performance Coaching Certification. My name is Mike Hutchins. I am one of the co-founders of ACT. I'm joined today by Roberta Harding, and Roberta supports ACT in many different ways. So this session, typically 45 minutes, it's an information session. So we'll be talking about the program. We'll be talking about the uh, the content and really whatever questions that you have. So typically there's about 30 minutes of more sort of presentational information, and then we'll open it up. But please put questions in the chat. There's a lot we can hopefully answer as we go along. So that's really how we roll for the 45 minutes. So just a little bit of background about myself. So originally I trained many years ago as a CPA. I went into consulting for many years. So doing strategy, organizational design work, change management, all of that good stuff. And then as I went through that, realizing that the people dimension of change really was often neglected. And so I was looking for a method that would work to sort of bring more engagement into the workplace, like really human interaction and engagement. So that's what led me into coaching. Did my certification, set up ACT with my wife, Erin Hutchins. Shortly after we partnered with Brown University, that was about over 10 years ago now, supporting their executive master's programs back then with coaching assessments and running some coaching sessions, right? Like leader as coach type things for their executive masters. That all went very well. It was very well received. And so we then broadened that out and created this open enrollment program, which we had already been running in the federal government here in Washington, D.C. For a number of years. So it became a public open enrollment program. So we've been running that, since 2017 now. And we run it within organizations. We've done a lot of work in the government over the last, 12 years. And we also have a team coaching program, which comes after the level 1, level 2 programs. That is a ICF credential program through a different path called ACTC. And we also have a leader as coach program, and that might be relevant if, as we go through this, you feel like a full-blown certification with the ICF is maybe not what you need, and maybe you want something that is more less coach client, where you actually have specific clients and you have all of the responsibilities that go with that, to just being more like a coach-like leader. So it's a shorter program. It's got similar content, but it's just a lot lighter, shorter, and less expensive. So we can share information about that if you feel like that's what you are looking for. We do a lot of work in organizations beyond, it's primarily coaching focused. So we do a lot of leadership development, and, coaching is really, or at least coaching philosophy is a strong part of that. So working to try and create more of a developmental organization, more of like an inverted pyramid where the leader's role slightly shifts. And it's more about the empowerment of other people. So we do that with consulting and everything else in organizations as well. And what we learn out in the field gets fed back into our content. So we're constantly updating the content, not in any major way. But, as the world continues to shift with AI, over the last few years with equity and inclusion, other things. We're always keeping aware of those things and making sure that we're meeting our audience with that. Doesn't change any of the core principles of coaching at all. Same mindset, same skills, same concepts, all of those things, but the context is shifting. And so making sure that we're keeping up with our students who are obviously working in Fortune 500, government, whatever organizations worldwide. So that's a little bit about myself, a little bit about ACT. And so we'll get into what you're here for now, which is the certification program. We're going to show you a video in a minute that has a lot of the information on a lot of the details about the program. Because it's a credential program, there's a lot of things you need to know about ours, our style of teaching, and just some of the other programmatic details. So it's easier for us for you to watch this 7-minute video based on the FAQs that we've had over the last 10 years, and then we'll debrief that. But before we jump into that, let me just tell you, it's an 8-month program, and it's changing next year. The ICF is changing a lot of things. But if you're going to register this fall, just think of it as an 8-month program. That's what it would be signing up for this fall. If you're going to be January or 2027, it's slightly different, but I think it's good just to understand sort of like the baseline 8-month program now, which is what this video will show you. So, and this video will be made available as well afterwards. We'll send this out to you, so you can maybe watch it again and take notes.
Welcome to our Leadership and Performance Coaching Certification Program. This is brought to you by ACT Leadership in partnership with Brown University's School of Professional Studies. My name is Mike Hutchins, and I'm one of the co-founders of ACT. In this video, I'm going to guide you through the key elements of our 8-month program and answer some of the most commonly asked questions. So what's the main goal of the program? It's pretty simple. We want to equip you with the skills and confidence to become a world-class leadership and performance coach, while also fostering your growth as a leader. We want you to unlock your full potential and help others do the same. The partnership between Brown and ACT means we bring together academic rigor and practical coaching experience. Our focus is on continuous improvement and making sure our content and delivery are top-notch. So let's dive in with some quick facts. This is an 8-month program credentialed with the ICF for Level 1 accreditation. You can choose the format that works best for you, in-person, virtual, or a mix of both. You'll receive 100 hours of coach training, with 80 of those hours led by instructors. And during those 8 months, you'll need to complete 50 hours of coaching practice. So, let's talk structure. On the left, you'll see a breakdown of all the program elements: the 3 core classroom modules, mentor coaching sessions, self-paced learning, and guided practice. Each element is carefully sequenced to move you through from theory to practice, then onto application and feedback. We know you're busy professionals, so here's a look at how your schedule might shape up. You'll be most engaged during the first 3 months with the core content delivered over 3 intensive modules, each one lasting 3 days and spaced a month apart. Then, as you go through the remaining months, we'll deepen your learning with mentor coaching, practice sessions, and self-paced study. The goal is to build your confidence to coach effectively and pass your ICF performance evaluation. We understand that everyone has different learning experiences, so you can choose the format that suits you best: virtual, in-person, or hybrid. Many of our participants can't make it to Brown's campus in Rhode Island, so the virtual and hybrid options may be more convenient. In the hybrid format, modules 1 and 3 are in person, while module 2 is virtual. Regardless of which you choose, the content and quality remain the same. Before the program kicks off, we'll ensure you have everything you need to get started. You'll get access to our learning management system, be assigned a dedicated cohort program manager and faculty lead, and receive participant guides to help you navigate through the content. We'll also have an initial orientation session with your cohort and provide some pre-reading to set the foundation for your learning. So let's just talk a little bit about our classroom approach. We combine theory and practice to create a well-rounded learning experience that builds your coaching skills and confidence. Here's how it works. We start each session with a new coaching concept and provide real-life examples. One trainer then coaches a volunteer student, showing exactly how the content is applied in a real coaching conversation. Next, we have a group debrief where everyone shares their observations and insights. Then it's your turn. You'll practice the new concept in pairs or triads. After that, you'll receive structured feedback from peers and trainers. We end the session with a final debrief and some time for you to reflect and journal. So who will be in your cohort? Our cohorts are made up of participants from all over North America and beyond. You'll be learning alongside people from a variety of industries, regions, backgrounds, and ages. Some are transitioning careers, others are setting up independent coaching practices, and many are internal coaches looking to deepen their skills within their organizations. But no matter where you're starting from, everyone shares a common goal: to grow as a leader and make a positive impact on others. Now let's talk about mentor coaching and what to expect. Mentor coaching is a core part of this program with 10 hours dedicated to it. 7 of those hours are in group sessions of up to 10 students. These 90-minute sessions happen live on Zoom after each module, with the aim of reinforcing and deepening your learning. You'll do some prep work ahead of each session, and we offer 3 different time slots for your convenience. You'll also get 3 individual hours of mentor feedback. These are personalized one-on-one sessions where you can dive into specific areas of your coaching. You'll get to coach your mentor and receive detailed feedback on a recorded session, all geared towards honing your skills. Next, practicing with your peers. After absorbing the content and feedback, it's time to put it into practice. You'll meet with 2 other cohort members to practice coaching, being the client and the observer. Over the course of 10 one-hour sessions, you'll rotate through these roles, practice different coaching styles, and receive direct feedback, all with specific learning objectives in mind. So let's talk about coaching practice hours. Who you can and can't coach, how many hours you need. To complete the program, you'll need to log 50 hours of client coaching. That's about 2 hours per week. You can include both paid and pro bono coaching hours, as long as you're working with a minimum of 5 different clients to get a range of experiences. You'll need to keep a track of your hours accurately. If you're aiming for ICF ACC accreditation after this program, you'll need 100 hours. So that's another 50 hours. 70 of which need to be paid hours, even if it's just $1, and the remaining 30 can be pro bono. You'll need to find your own clients, but we'll support you in how to pitch coaching, and we provide a client exchange portal to connect you with potential clients. You can also count coaching hours if it's part of your current job. Next, let's talk about the Alumni Coaching Resource. This is something that is unique about our program. Our alums generously offer up to 5 hours of pro bono coaching. It's important that you do your own inner work as a coach and receive coaching as a critical part of the process. So we're getting near the end. Let's talk about the performance evaluation. Once you've completed the 50 hours of client coaching and all the elements of the program, it's time for the performance evaluation. Here's how it works. You'll record a 30-minute coaching session with a client and submit it to one of our program assessors. After they review it, you'll have a 30-minute debrief with them to get feedback. It's a pass or fail process, but if you don't pass first time, no worries. You'll just have a redo with some additional mentor coaching. So let's finish off with ICF certification. Once you pass your performance evaluation and complete your client coaching hours, you'll receive your Level 1 certificate from Acton Brown School of Professional Studies. To go a step further and get your ACC with the ICF, you'll need another 50 coaching hours, as I mentioned before. You'll then sit for a proctored credentialing exam with the ICF, and once you pass, you'll officially have your ACC.
All right, lots of information there. I'll just summarize a few of the highlights from that. So 8-month program this fall. It'll move to 6-month program. Most of the content comes in the first, well, pretty much all of it comes in the first few months. So there are 3 modules. Each module is 3 days. So the program starts at module 1 on your first 3 days. So there'll be most likely 24 of you in a cohort. There'll be 2 ACT Brown trainers, and you choose up front, and we'll show you at the end the different cohorts that we have running. But you can basically either do hybrid, in which case you would do module 1 and module 3 at Brown School of Professional Studies in Providence, Rhode Island. Or you do virtual, in which case you do all 3 modules on Zoom. So whatever you choose, you stay with. That's one thing that we can't really move around cohorts. So and those 3 modules happen. So month 1, and then about 4 weeks, usually 4 weeks, no more than that, and then module 2, and then module 3. So those are really the most important things. And of the 100 hours of training that you'll get with us, 65 of those 70 will happen in those 9 days. So that's where, as I say, all the content gets delivered in there. And then everything else in the program kind of feeds off that. So the mentor coaching, the asynchronous learning, everything else feeds from the modules. And that's the one place where all of you would come together as a cohort. The program is credentialed with the ICF for level 1. We are also credentialed for level 2, but you will need to get another 25 hours for that. Apologies for 1 second. I need to just switch something off here. Yeah, so you will need to get another 25 hours, and we have a level 2 program for that to get your level 2, which then would get you your PCC. What I will say quickly about that is for a PCC, you need 500 hours of client coaching practice. So most people, so you get your 125, you could do our program in, a year, but then you'll be coaching probably for another 2 years, right? To get your 500 hours to get your PCC. So we might be able to give you a level 2, which is the education part, if you did our advanced program, but you would obviously need to get those 500 hours, which takes that time. So most people will get to first base, they'll get their 100 hours, they'll get their 100 hours of coaching, client coaching practice. So put those 2 together, and that's where you get your ACC. So you finish our program, you will do the performance evaluation at the end, which is submitting a recording. We listen to that. You pass that. We use the ICF markers, obviously. And then you coach for 100 hours. So you keep that client coaching log. And then you put those together. You submit them to the ICF. The ICF will then, so level 1 certificate, coaching log, will then set you up for a credentialing test, which, if you've been paying attention, which you all will, you will pass. It's gotten a little more tricky in the last 2 or 3 years. They made a few more hoops to get through in the test. It's a 3-hour proctored test, but you will get through that. And then the ICF will give you your ACC. So the ICF gives you your ACC. We give you the level 1 certificate, and you need that for your ACC. That's the prerequisite with your 100 coaching hours. To finish our program, we require you to get 50 hours because we feel like that's 40, 50, 60 hours is about the right amount of coaching practice that you need with the training to be able to be a confident, competent coach. I'll pause there and see if there's any questions about anything so far.
Mike,
Yeah,
this is. Sorry, go ahead.
Very good. Sonia Vasquez here. I do have a question. You said that the ICF will be having some upcoming changes. I'm just wondering if those changes are going to somehow have any impact to.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, and I meant to mention that. So basically now what they've changed is before you have the performance evaluation at the end, and that was done once. Now they're doing it 3 times. So your individual mentor feedback sessions now become performance evaluations. So we are changing all of that now. So, the good news with that is, if your recording is not great, you've got 3 recordings. So we're sort of taking more of an average score based on their rubric for that. And then there's another smaller thing, which is they require observed coaching, which we're doing anyway, because we're always observing coaching throughout the program and giving feedback, but it just needs to be demonstrated that it's been documented. So we just need to tighten up to make sure it's all documented for every person with them out. That's the only other big change. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Matthew.
Yeah, thank you. So, I think if I understood this correctly, that the additional 50 hours that we would need if we're trying to get the level 1 ACC sort of
Yeah.
accreditation, I believe there was something that a portion of that has to be paid. It can't be,
Yeah.
it can't be free. Any sort of rationale or context for why?
Yeah. Why which bit? Why it needs to be paid or?
Why it needs to be paid? Just because where I'm going with that is that obviously if we're not certified, it's sort of like a catch-22. If you're not
It is.
certified,
You're absolutely right. It is a catch-22. I think
Yeah.
to me, there's 2 things that are really hard about when you become a coach. Well, 3 actually. First one is not giving advice and problem solving. I'll talk about that in a minute. The want to control the conversation and all of that. Like that's the big hurdle for everyone. And then the second one is getting clients and charging, because it is a catch-22. It's like someone starting out as a hairstylist, right? They're sort of, would you trust them with their hair when they've only been, they're a student or just learning how to do it? And there's a bit of that with coaching too. But again, we're very aware of that. You will get good at coaching very quickly. Like after module 2, I would say you will start getting pretty confident and you'll start seeing a lot of value that you're adding. We don't put extra pressure on you to say you need to be billing for any of our 50 hours. We just want you to practice. We just go find clients, go ask people in your cohort, like just practice, right? That's all we want you to do is practice, get feedback, and that's the way you'll grow. But to answer your question, why the ICF wants it paid is they want to see that the value of coaching is being respected. But it can be as little as $1. So it doesn't have to be like $250 for a 45-minute session when you're not even certified. Like that would be horrendously challenging.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but there's lots of creative, honestly, like there's a lot of creative ways to do it. And there's one gift that we give you and through the ICF, because it's allowed to be done, is this idea. It's called reciprocal coaching, basically bartering. And so we have, once you finish the program, it's called the Alumni Coach Exchange. So it's basically a directory. So you put your profile up there and somebody will contact you, or you contact somebody and say, hey, how about I coach you and you coach me? Not consulting, not you're paying me and I'm not paying you. None of that. It's literally, I coach you today, you coach me next week. That counts as a paid hour, which is fantastic, because for most student coaches, especially ones setting up their own practice, it's really hard to start charging until you've got your ACC, to be honest. Like you can.
Yeah.
So you can go from 50 to 100 very quickly, get your ACC, and then you can start with your coaching practice and stuff like that, like incredibly start charging a lot more for coaching.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question in the chat for you.
Yes.
Could you please tell us more about the client portal and whether we retain access after the program?
So just to be clear, which portal do you mean? Because there's a couple. Yes.
That was me. Sorry. You can't remember if it was in the recording or whether you said it before, but you said we'd have to get our own clients, but you give us a portal to use in order to interact with them.
Well, so we give you the portal, but not the clients. And so what
Yeah, yeah.
the portal is for, let's say, you're working in an organization, you've got a large team of people, um, reporting into you, indirectly reporting into you. You have some influence over their performance evaluation. You cannot coach them and count that as a paid hour, right? Because of impartiality. But what you can do is offer them up to the rest of the cohort. So the exchange portal is basically a way that the cohort offers up clients for other people in the cohort.
Oh, it's an exchange portal. I took you to mean that it was a portal for us to interact with the clients themselves
No,
that we would have. Okay, it's not that. All right,
no, it's
thank
not
you.
that. No, you're welcome. We don't do that. We don't offer that. But it's easy to do, to find that there's loads of apps out there now that do this, and we get approached. There's hundreds of them, and there's some really good ones. So it takes away a lot of the hassle of scheduling and setting up your practice and all of that. Yeah. Good. Any other questions so far?
Yes, Mike, and this is Zahra here.
Hey, Zahra.
Hi. I thought there was also, I was informed, I think it was from Sarah, from the Browns team. There was also an option for the hybrid in Washington, D.C. Is that correct, or am I getting that wrong?
That is correct. And I think we are going to postpone that one until the spring. We were ambitious in thinking we were going to fill it in 2 months, and we haven't got
Oh, I
enough
see.
people. So we've pulled that one until the spring, and we're going to give ourselves a bit more time.
I see.
It's and Roberta will happily share more about when we release those dates, because we did have a few people on it. We don't like pulling things when we've got people registered, but we do give people at least 2 months. It's very unusual we do that, but the DC one at this point just didn't have enough interest. Everyone wants to go to Brown, like that one. So we've got one starting in a month. That one's got a long wait list
Oh,
already.
wow.
Yeah, we may possibly still run another one at Brown if we can get the space, because there's so much every year. That one in the fall in Providence is very popular.
Oh, I see. Well, for me, I'd be traveling from London, so I was enrolled just is a little bit further out
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get
yeah,
there. So I was thinking that ideally DC might be the easier option,
yeah,
but okay, I'll have to reconsider and think
yeah.
about that one. Okay, great. Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
no
Appreciate
worries.
that, Mike.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I was going to just talk a little bit more about the program, about the content, and then answer any more questions. Any more questions so far about hours, ICF?
I popped a quick one in the chat. Hi,
Oh,
I'm
sorry. Yeah.
no worries. Just, you mentioned apps and just some searching around apps that people use to connect with clients. Are those allowed to be used to also look for clients or during the program, or is it not recommended, or any comment there about using apps to clients early on?
Depends what you mean by to find clients. Do you mean to use it as a scheduling, like exchange conversation type thing, or?
My understanding is that we need a certain, like you were saying, some paid hours of coaching,
Yeah.
right? You go into those apps registered as, a coach in training,
Yeah.
and then connect with clients off those platforms.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The apps are just to facilitate administration.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So you
So the
still
app is
need to
like,
go and find the client. Now, there's a lot of organizations that ask, because it's Brown and it's a prestigious, like our coaches are amazing. So we get a lot of organizations that come to us saying, can you ask your coaches if they want to go onto our apps, right?
okay.
But they always are going to want an ACC. Like they wouldn't
Okay.
take a student, maybe level one sometimes, but generally, it's sort of the insurance premium of like a credentialed coach.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. That makes sense. Thanks.
Okay. Cool. Nice. Well, he's actually just gone. Nice to meet you, Christina. Do alumni keep access to the client portal? Yes. And the client portal, just to set your expectations. It's nothing too fancy, to be honest. It is an Excel sheet where you basically offer up people. Sometimes, you keep it anonymous sometimes, but you just say, contact me, I have 10 people. And it's all kept on our Mighty Networks site. So there's loads of other stuff on Mighty Networks. And you do get continued access to that for 3 months after the program. We do encourage you to join our alumni network. There is a charge for that. It's, I think, $40 a month. You get easily enough to get all of your credential renewals through the training that's in there, the webinars, the dojos. There's a whole bunch of stuff, the preparation for your ICF. There's how to set up your coaching practice. There's my wife doing embodiment stuff. There's loads of things that are in there as well. So yeah, that's that piece. Just to talk a little bit more about the content. So this is leadership performance coaching certification. That is what we stand for. That is how our program has been designed. And awareness choice transformation, which is ACT, flows through every single thing we do. Team coaching, this program, leader as coach. It's all about building more awareness. So getting really, really good at seeing your client level of awareness of what's going on right now. So we're not like, hey, we're going to try this and go there and do that. It's like just to get settled in, what does my leadership performance look like right now? And so get the client to start looking at the different parts of their leadership. And so that's really how the content of the program is framed. So looking at values, looking at purpose, looking at triggers, inner critic, or leadership identity, right? The parts of yourself that may not be serving you in the environment that you are operating in. So we do a lot of work with context. Like, what is your environment like right now? The power, the pace, the norms. That's how we define that. Especially today with complexity and uncertainty, things are changing so fast for leaders. And so it's looking at how you showed up yesterday going to work for tomorrow, right? All the time, because that's the topic that seems to come up so frequently. And so we look at these different elements through the program so the client can have more intentional awareness, because once they have that, we're at choice, right? It's like now we can choose. And that's really where the power of coaching comes alive, is having the client choose something different and not like push away what worked before. So it's integrating that, or just turning the volume down on the parts of yourself that may not be serving in your leadership in where you want to go. So no judgment from the coach here. It's always the client's agenda. And that's one of the mindsets. And you're just helping the client to see that so that they can make those choices. And that's ultimately what leads to the transformation. So that's where the ACT comes from. So in module 1, we do a lot of sort of unlearning or rewiring a little bit around, all of us have this, whether it's through nature, nurture, probably both, wanting to give advice and problem solve. It's like almost an instinctual thing. It's like, I know what they need. I know, like, I just need to tell them what I did, all of those things. So we need to start unraveling some of that. So we will be giving you feedback from day one with love and with grace. And we truly co-create a safe environment where it's done with humor. You'll notice that you'll be wanting to try and fix something. We encourage you just to say that in the classroom. It's like, I know I want to solve this for you. The more you can get that out early on, the more you can then start receiving the content that's coming in. So really understanding the skills, the mindsets, the coaching concepts. So all of that comes in module 1. And then you'll go away and practice over the next month with the mentor coaching. So you have group mentor coaching, you'll have individual mentor coaching. There'll be recordings. You'll work in small groups, coaching practice triads, so groups of 3. There's many different modalities for you to practice. There'll be a participant guide. It's like 100 pages. It has all of the content laid out in there. You'll come back a month later in module 2. We then look at sort of a map or journey of what really good coaching looks like. So again, with the ICF, like making sure you get clear around what the client wants from a coaching session. Like, what is the coaching agreement? What is my contract with you? and then working through sort of what we call a reactive to creative journey. It's like helping them become more aware to be at choice so that they can ultimately take some action and some accountability to move forward. There's a lot of developmental psychology that sits through this. So the Bob Kegan, Bob Anderson work around the idea that humans never stop growing unless we choose to. It's like when we become adults, we often think, well, that's it. And, neuroscience and neuroplasticity and everything else tells us that that's not the case. So we're, as we continue to grow and make more sense and more meaning of complexity, that's really weaved into the content, the skills, and everything else. We really want to make sure every student has a real respect for people from different backgrounds, from ourselves. We want you to be able to coach anyone. As you go through the program, we're very generic, and be able to co-create and design with anyone so that they feel safe and supported, and that coaching becomes available for them. You may then choose to go, and most people do, like find their niche for coaching and whatever, emerging leaders, women in leadership, whatever it is. But as you go through, we really invite as much range and diversity of clients, and for you to be as an eclectic a coach as possible and have a rich experience for everybody. So module 2, we look at values, we look at purpose, we look at inner critic, we look at all of these different things. And then you'll come back a month later for module 3. We do a lot of work with emotions, difficult, blocked, or stuck emotions, helping you work through those, do more work with your range. So again, inviting you, giving feedback to see different styles in how to coach. We often have our default way of doing things, especially if something seems to have worked. You do it again and do it again, and before you know it, that's your style of coaching. So, we kind of freshen it up with these 7 different archetypes, bringing more humor, more structure, more presence, whatever those things are. So that's module 3. And then after that, there's a lot more mentor coaching for the next few months, but we're really gearing you up for your performance evaluation. That will be your recording. And once you pass that, that's really the formal ending with your 50 hours. That's really where our contract with you to get you through that is where it formally ends. That's where this program formally ends. So that's a little bit about the content. Any questions about any of that or anything else?
Mike, yes, 2 questions. You mentioned Bob Kegan. Who were the others, the psychological developmental persons that we have kind of built upon?
There's Lisa Leahy, who's written a couple of books with Bob Kegan around different stages of consciousness. If you want to go right back to 1947, I think the person with the biggest revelation was Karen Horney, developmental child psychologist, who created the 3 predominant reactive tendencies that we have, which then became named as complying, being agreeable, protecting, which is sort of using intelligence to somehow masquerade something that you're hiding, and then controlling, which is the other one. So these sound very labely. We don't obviously bring any labels into, but we do it for you to have, without going into the past, because that's not what coaches do, but just have some respect and appreciation for how people's identities and their beliefs and everything got formed. So there's lots of reading that we do around that. I have a book that's coming out next month called Leadership Equation, which is a 3-part story of a character who goes through a leadership journey. And it's all underpinned with developmental psychology without mentioning any of the terminology. So we're really into that, the human adult development stuff in the program. Yes.
Take another one for you. You may get to this, but I'd like to hear how ACT's approach compares to other models like coactive, et cetera.
Yeah, good question. Well, coactive does have a model. Not all of our competitors do. So that's a big obvious plus, but they do. And I'm not going to talk about theirs at all because it's not fair to do that. But they have a very good model of being and doing, which is really simple. some of the others don't. So if you're shopping around, ask them, what is the model that you use? For us, it all frames around awareness, choice, transformation. Everything hangs off that. And so there's content wise, there's a lot that we are always doing in partnership with Brown University. So we're having conversations with them. We're not just talking about coaching. We also go beyond that and look at other disciplines and sort of look at the relationships. So we have a lot of Brown faculty that get involved with things, that do sessions with coaching. So there's the depth around that. Obviously, there is the branding, which we don't lean heavily on or rely on, but it is an Ivy League university in a very competitive coaching marketplace. That is important. You use what you can to get clients, and that definitely puts you above a lot of the other coaching schools. In terms of our faculty, instructional design, and content, we spend a lot of time and resource with our faculty, and we get feedback on everything. We also observe all of your coaching, and we track every single coaching thing that you do, right? Your individual mentor coaching, everything else. So for every cohort, we got pretty sophisticated with looking at tracking the quality of coaching and seeing where things need to improve. So we're constantly updating things. We have calls all the time. We're looking at trends. We're looking at all of those things. So the content is staying refreshed and updated as needed. In the classroom, we put a real emphasis on you all feeling safe, right from the beginning. We believe that half of the value of this program is, or of you becoming a good coach, is you feeling safe, right? Because coaching is not like you're not learning calculus here. It's not that hard, right? You read the content, there's nothing in there. It might feel a bit woo-woo. We try and avoid that as much as possible. We use developmental psychology, and everything is underpinned by some evidence. But it might feel, I forgot what I was going to say there. Completely lost my track of thought. That happens when you get close to 55. So yeah, the developmental psychology sits underneath all of the content. Oh, sorry, that's what it was. Feeling safe. That's what it was. It's so important to feel like you can show up and be a client in the classroom, because you'll be clients as well as coaches, and share pretty much anything. Like, you could say, I'm struggling with this program. I had a really challenging client last night. Or, I'm really lost. I'm not sure about, whatever that is, that's a great topic, right? But as long as you feel safe to be able to share that, that's where you will grow as a leader, but you also grow as a coach. So really the best coaches are the ones that, expression, doing your own work, is really important. So you will, as you go through this, when we ask people, when you look at the 5 differentiators or any testimonials or anything, they pretty much start with themselves, and it's like how they developed as a leader, and then they talk about how they're an amazing coach as well. So that's that. Our faculty are phenomenal. They've been doing this for many years, and so they love what they do. They're fun, they're playful. That's how the best learning happens. Yeah, I could go on a day about this. Does that help answer? If there's anything else specifically, I'm happy to answer. What other questions do you have?
I guess I still have a question around the changes that are coming with the ICF.
Yeah.
Just right, if we enroll for 2026, that means we will have a gap in 2027 that we'll have to close ourselves with regards to the performance evaluation to meet the 3 requirements versus just the one that will be given.
No, so you will just do the whole program as everyone's done it for the last 5 years. So you will have one performance evaluation at month 7, and that's it. So none of the 3 evaluations will happen to you. If you started in January, you will be doing the 3 performance evaluations.
Okay, so ICF would not require the 3 performance evaluations, just the 1. Perfect.
They've put a lot of, in transparency, they put a lot of changes on the coaching schools, and it's been quite stressful, to be honest, because it changes a lot of things. All of our content, everything changes, right? And so we all pushed back and said, listen, fine, you know, it's good thing to do. And they've been quite generous with the time. So that's now why you do have a choice. But the choice will end in December, because we have to go all in on the new way.
You.
Any other questions? If you do have questions, yes, it will be. Yeah, that's correct. If you do have questions, we do encourage you to speak to one of our program advisors for a 30-minute call. It's not a sales pitch. They will listen and showcase what's about the program, answer any questions for you to help make a choice. So if you want to do that, go to info@actleader.com and schedule some time with somebody. Roberta, maybe we could share the website now, and we'll show you what programs we have running this fall. And you know how to apply, what the application process looks like.
Wonderful. Yes, thank you, Mike. I have popped the link in the chat that I will be reading from here. So if you want to join me, that would be great. All right, so this is our landing page for our leadership and performance coaching program. I'm going to scroll down really quickly, just as Mike mentioned. I did give our email address in the chat if you'd like to speak with an advisor, but you can also come here and click on this link to do the same, and we'll get you set up for that. All right, moving back up, we've got our quick glimpse here of all of our programs that we have running throughout the rest of the year. So our fall programs, as Mike mentioned, the hybrid program in Rhode Island is already full, waitlist only. That happens pretty much every single year. Fall apparently is beautiful in Rhode Island. I haven't been, but I've heard great things. Some things I want you to kind of take note of as you're looking through this quick glance here. So Mike also mentioned the modules. So those 3 modules that you need to be present for, the dates, you'll see those here. So module 1, module 2, module 3. If it's hybrid, again, the first and the third module will be in Brown. The module 2 will actually be virtual. Something else to note here, hybrid, it's not listed here. I think we've run out a little bit of space, but the hybrid program is a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday program. But you will see that here for the others. So midweek would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or if it's the weekend, it would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The rest of our programs for the year are virtual. And so we have a virtual midweek, again, a virtual weekend. This program will run on Pacific Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast or maybe Mountain Time or in a part of the world, because we do have many people who travel or who actually attend the program from outside of the US, and the Pacific Standard Time works better for you, definitely an option here. And again, these are the dates you'll want to be present for. All right. And just really quickly to run through the application, I'm going to information here. You can also kind of, if you want to apply, you can actually also pick your style, whether it's hybrid or virtual, or if you want to go based on the dates, you can use the drop-down menu there. I'm going to hit start application. It wants to verify that I'm real and not AI. All right, you can provide, we'd ask you to provide some information about yourself just so we know who you are. Scroll down a little bit here. Let us know how you heard about us. It's great feedback for us and how we continue to learn more about the program and how we receive our students who come in. Oftentimes it is word of mouth, so definitely let us know. If you're an ICF member, let us know that as well. You can, and then just keep continuing to scroll down. You would click here for which path you are looking to attend through, whether it's the level 1 or the level 2 pathway, which cohort you're interested in applying for or attending. And then this is where we kind of ask for a little bit more details about yourself, why you want to choose coaching, whether you're possibly transitioning, whether you're looking to coach within your organization, a myriad of reasons people want to come into the program. We're excited to have you. This quick little video right here is a video that we have that gives a little bit more information about what our understanding or what our definition of leadership coaching is. And again, that's all based on ICF requirements and their standards. And so, yeah, just complete the application for us here. If you need an accommodation, definitely let us know. We'd ask you to provide your resume, and then we've got some information about our tuition and payment schedule. And then you would click submit for us.
Thank you, Roberta. And Roberta, I don't know if you've got the blog, I can't find it, about the in-person versus virtual.
Yes.
Yeah. Some considerations for that. If you want to join us on LinkedIn and see it, sometimes people ask, what are the sort of folks that are in your program? It's easier to see them there. But it's, it's Fortune 500. It's senior leaders, mid-level leaders, some emerging leaders, but definitely has a good amount of managerial or leadership experience. So you can see some of those folks on there. What haven't we asked?
I had just a quick question
Yes.
when we were going through the application. So it's just the questions and information in the form as well as your resume. There's no references or recommendations required?
No.
Okay.
No, the thing we're really looking for mostly is why. And part of that's to make sure that it's the right choice for you. Because sometimes, we'll get an application and it's like a sports therapist or something, and it just isn't, it's not going to work for them. So we want to really understand, or it's maybe something quite technical that they want to use it for, and it's like they maybe just not quite got the grasp of what this form of coaching is. So we just want to be clear that you want to make a difference, have a positive impact in the world, and really that you want to be developing people and leading. So we just want to see the flavor of that in your application. But there's no bias whether you're a nonprofit or we don't really, even if as long as it's got some sort of organizational flavor to it. But it could be someone from a ministry, it could be somebody from some community thing as well. Like, we want to get as much range and diversity in the cohorts as possible.
Do you ever have people coming who are coaching leaders, but not necessarily in the office, so to speak, people who are kind of doing a more holistic personal and professional development? In other words, not going into an organization per se, even though the people are themselves leaders? Yeah. Kind of a hybrid. It's not exactly life coaching. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of this. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as long as it is coaching, well, they can be doing anything, right? Consulting or facilitation, all sorts of stuff. I mean, the bit that obviously we care about is for the first 6 months is that you've got a client, that you start with a topic, that you're following the ICF, you're not giving advice, you're not problem solving. That's really the focus for this program.
Oh, that's actually a really good follow-up question. Sorry, everybody. So yeah, the clients that we get, they could be completely personal. It's like somebody else's distant friend who's just trying to figure out about career changing from something to something else. It's nothing to do with what we might consider our future coaching niche to be.
Yeah, I mean, for the 50 hours, it's like, just coach anyone. Like, I mean, but you don't want to have 50 hours of somebody that's not even like life coaching. So it's got to have some sort of flavor to it. But we just want you to get practice listening, not giving advice, asking good questions, following the arc of a coaching, finishing the session when you said you'd finish it. Like, there's just a lot of foundational, structural, relational things that you want to get in place at the beginning. Yeah, and it does get a lot easier with practice. So. Yeah.
And you said it has to be 5. Because I read it was 2 initially somewhere, but it has to be 5 clients.
Yeah, minimum of 5. You'll end up with more than that for sure. It's good. I always think it's good to have like 3 solid clients that you really like build a strong relationship with, and then I would say just go out and find someone that you would never normally think you would coach or hang out with or anything like that. Just find different backgrounds and yeah. Any other questions? Happy to stick around.
This has been super helpful. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much.
Mike, before people start to drop, just one quick question. So my understanding is the application process, I'm just wondering if there's a particular acceptance rate, or
Yeah.
is it more if you're trying to compose like good cohorts together?
No,
How
no,
do you,
not at
how do
all.
you, okay.
Yeah, there's no sort of like sitting down and going, oh, let's get this person with this person and creating that. It sort of always drops into being, 25% from healthcare. If we look at every single cohort by industry, by level of experience, all this stuff, and they all pretty much end up broadly the same. But the acceptance rate is very high because we do a lot of work in advance like this and having these 30-minute sessions. So when people apply, they generally know that they've chosen the program that they want and they know the reasons for choosing it. So yeah, so the acceptance rate is high.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you. If you have any specific personal questions like around dates or not sure it's right for you, I'm happy to stick around for a while and answer any of those. Otherwise, speak to a program advisor or apply, and we'd love to meet you all sometime.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Roberta.
Thanks,
You're
Mike.
welcome.
You're
Thanks, Roberta.
welcome.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Afternoon. Bye.